Hey, it's Clay at claycharter.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Friday, April 14th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you are someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. Real quick, a couple of explanations. First off, the price you see over here will be changing and the candlestick you see right there will be moving around. That is because the market's still open for a small amount of time, but I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. And then second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. So stock number one here, CXAI, truly a monster mover today. But the one thing that's got me a little confused. Now, granted, there's still about 15 minutes before the market closes, but check out the last 30 minutes. So small in volume compared to the previous ones. Usually the last 30 minutes is where volume's picking up that much more momentum, but just does not seem to be there. Now, to be fair, maybe in the next 15 minutes, this thing explodes back up volume-wise, but yeah, something very odd with that. But anyways, let's map out a couple of key levels. So the first level, as far as resistances are concerned, right up there at $8.35. I realize the price did actually go up that high, but you can see more of a congestion point seems to be right at that level. So keep a close eye on that if there is any sort of attempted recovery. And then as far as supports, what I find pretty interesting is that trend line right there. And just because I can't help myself, let's make it nice and proportional. There we go. This would be an area of support. Let me change that to green to represent more so the support. And then to make the pattern easier to see, let's keep it one color. So we have our resistance, we have our support, we have the big explosion up right there. For you golfers out there, we'll make it more visual. We'll put the golf down here. So what we have here is a bull pennant pattern. So if you like bull pennants and if you like this price range, keep an eye on it for Friday. Next one, MARA, after a deeper pullback on Thursday, on Wednesday, very nice move today, which is Thursday. And the first update is just based on in fact, let me just do this real quick. Let me do a little house clean to get rid of those lines. But first update based on a foundational rule in charting, which states when levels of resistance are broken and closed above, you want to see them act as support. So going into the day, that 1065 mark was an area of resistance, but now that the price is up above there, that would be the new ideal level of support. Meaning, if you say, Clay, what would make this chart look the absolute best moving forward? Well, yes, ideally, if there is any sort of pullbacks, the price stand above 1065 would definitely make the chart look the strongest by far. In terms of areas of resistance, nothing fancy or complicated here, just a question of where did the party stop today, and on several occasions right up there around the $11.70 mark. Both here. Again, generally speaking, in there, you can see the price stopped and the party stopped for the time being, but that doesn't mean the price can't break above it. That's just where the sellers seem to be hanging out for now. But all in all, any way you look at it, very, very impressive chart. You have higher lows being built. You have higher highs being put in. So from a trend building perspective, it's doing everything the right way. Next one, OCEA. Very, very nice pattern here. So as we talked about before with patterns, didn't want to just get this drawn in here. And I will say that this is a pattern that you got to think a lot of people are watching. And I make that comment because when a lot of people are watching the same patterns and wondering the same thing, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want, it can produce some very dynamic movement. So again, let's just make this the same color, make it easier to see. So we have our resistance, we have our support, we have the explosion right here. And once again, for you golfers, we have the golf hole down here. So another bull pennant pattern. So let me be very clear. There are no guarantees, but is it plausible? Is it valid to think that even if it's just because of a self-fulfilling prophecy, that if the price comes up at the top of the pattern and breaks up through it, that break could in and of itself create additional buying pressure? That is certainly a plausible outcome, but again, not guaranteed. So once more, if you like this price range, if you like bull pennants, keep an eye on it. Next one, AMC. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on it because, quite frankly, there's not a whole lot to say relative to the levels that I've talked about previously. But if you have not watched the past videos, then key area of support right now, 535, which should give some credit where credit's due. Beautiful hold right there on Thursday where you got the bounce up. But then as far as levels of resistance, nothing here has changed. There hasn't been any tests or breaks of it, which keeps, what is that? I think 575. Let's double check. Yeah, 575 as that main area of resistance. So in other words, really the most straightforward and quickest way to just summarize this is right now, sideways channel pattern. Beautiful move up. And now it's still resting, taking it easy right now. So it hasn't done anything great, but it also hasn't done anything wrong, which is the very nature of a sideways channel pattern. So yeah, again, 535 key area of support, 575 key area of resistance. And right now, just one of those grab your popcorn and see who ultimately wins. Next one, XELA, which is a penny stock down below 10 cents. So something for everybody here. And once more along the lines of what I would consider a pattern that you got to think a lot of people are watching is going to be this bull pennant here. Maybe not as clean, but I wouldn't say it's a catastrophe pattern either, where I'm trying to fit a square peg through a round hole. But once again, one of the general ideas that nothing's guaranteed, but self-fulfilling prophecies, more than valid to think that if the price can get a breakup through the pattern, so let me get it all finished so you can just visualize it. There you go. So just keep an eye on that. So once again, I'm not going to sit here and repeat myself. You've already heard me say it. The biggest difference here is that this is just on a stock that's a penny stock, and even a penny stock down below 10 cents. So if you enjoy this price range and bull pennants, here you go. Real quick, wanted to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online class that I'm offering next week. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency to manage risk, then certainly get signed up for the free live class. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box. If you're watching at my site, there's an area right there on the webpage that you can click to get signed up. So like I said, if you've been enjoying, then definitely get signed up for the free live class. Next one here, TSLA Tesla, and a very, very crazy opening 30 minutes when you think that the price gapped up, came all the way down here, and then from there has worked its way up very nicely. And I'm not intending it, but some days you just have a lot of the same patterns take place. So, yeah, there's just nothing I can do about it. I mean, you have this very well-defined level of resistance, former area of support, right up here at the 186.50 mark, and then in conjunction with that, now I'm not going to use a trend line here, but just visualize that purple line, the 50-period moving average. See how the price has bounced off it several times now. So we'll use that as our trend line. So we have something that's basically something like that, give or take. And then to make it all the same color, resistance, support, nice move. So you have a nice little miniature bull pennant. But to take a step back within the bigger picture of things, even if the price does get the breakout from, again, more of a big picture point of view, you're going to have to watch that pink line there very closely, 200-period moving average, which is exactly where it got rejected from a couple days ago. Current value of that is right up there around 190.35. And then if the price does break to the downside of that pattern, not the end of the world because you still do have other supports. Granted, the next area of support really isn't until down around the 180 mark. So a break to the downside of that pattern could be pretty interesting because there's quite a bit of free fall room in there. Does that mean that it'll for sure free fall? Of course not. But is it at least a plausible idea? Absolutely. But more of the story here, for those of you that care about the very near-term levels, then yes, there's this tight little pattern right there. But if you care about more so the bigger picture levels, then again, you have that main area of resistance up there, that main area of support down there. Next one, NCMI, and this is a little tricky to talk about because there's a lot of perspective that goes into it, meaning from a presentation standpoint. But if you're a day trader, flipper, scalper, whatever you want to call yourself, and you're looking to buy and sell within 10 seconds and you bought right there, well, then yeah, from that angle, the chart looks really, really rough. Because from the big picture, sure, the price did have this pullback, which we're looking at right there. However, if you care about the bigger picture point of view, well, then you're going to care more about what's just happened in the past, several hours. You're going to care about, well, what was happening yesterday? What was happening the past couple of days? And the past couple of days, the price had been all the way down there before moving all the way up there, which has now allowed me to draw, yeah, you guessed it, a bull pennant pattern. So bull pennant. Now the one difference here is this is more of a broader picture bull pennant, whereas Tesla, think about it, that was a very narrow term bull pennant. I mean, we were talking about just the past couple of hours. Here we're talking about basically the past couple of days. So a little bit difference there. But yes, at the core, if you want to just paint with a broad brush, and yes, we have ourselves another bull pennant pattern. So if you like bull pennants and you like penny stocks, here you go. Next one here, AAPL Apple, and not a whole lot to say other than crazy, crazy afternoon. And that's what a watch list is all about, finding unique, finding interesting situations, and not randomly rushing out and buying anything, but watching it. And at least in my opinion, I would consider this a pretty unique situation. I mean, literally, green candle after green candle after green candle after green candle. It had 0 green candles except that one right there, which was, early morning. And then after that, all green. So that in and of itself, very unique looking chart here and worth keeping an eye on. So let's map out some other areas. And plus it's Apple, right? I think everybody's heard of the stock of Apple. But next key battleground, if this thing continues to grind higher and higher, in my mind, right up there at the 166.50 mark. So keep a close eye on that if this move continues. You got to think there's going to be some sort of pullback, though. I mean, this is just a crazy move. So if there are any sort of pullbacks, first key level that stands out to me as a potential area, if you are somebody that likes to play pullbacks, right down there at the 165 mark, if you want to be a little bit more conservative with the pullback area. Now, the risk here is obviously you never get filled and you never get a trade because it never goes down that far, but right there around 163.65. But all in all, like I said, with the philosophy of a watch list to find those unique and interesting situations, personally, this is a very interesting chart here, so we'll keep an eye on it and see if this carries into Friday. Next one here, INPX, and same general idea what I just talked about, unique, interesting situation. So as of right now, there's not really any sort of pattern. The pattern has already occurred in terms of the breakout, right? So going into this, you had this little wedge pattern here. The wedge pattern has been broken. Volume is pouring in, and I mean, you can see it right now, and this is why I like to do these when the market's open, because I mean, we're witnessing this huge breakout occur as it happens. So yes, there's not any sort of pattern right now. It's already broke, but is a huge breakout, is huge volume an interesting situation? Yeah, of course it is, especially if you like penny stocks. So as of right now, there's not really anything I can talk about now to be, and I'm not saying this will occur, but just for example's sake, maybe tomorrow the price drifts down here, drifts down a little bit. So then you'd be able to do, like, okay, so it's pulled back a little bit, but then you'd have this big move up. So maybe some sort of bull flag pattern, for example, forms tomorrow. I have no idea if that will occur, but the main dynamic here is, again, as I speak, look at this volume just pouring in. But big volume, big price movement, a penny stock. So if you like this combination, then this one definitely belongs on your watch list for Friday. Next one, TQQQ, which is an ETF that measures the NASDAQ. So if you believe that the NASDAQ market is going to go up as a whole, this one will also go up. It just allows you access at a much lower price point, which makes it very popular among traders and investors. And this will mean a bit more to those of you that have watched the past top 10 videos. But if you have, you know that I've talked about over and over again that resistance trend line, but you know what? It finally happened. The price came up here, got the break, and then the rest is history. A very, very nice break. So good, solid, bullish day today. Not necessarily just because it was a green day, but because from a technical point of view, it got above that trend line, got above the purple line. So just a very healthy technical day too. So I'm going to get rid of that line as it served its purpose for now. I'm actually going to get rid of that green line down there too. As that's kind of clutter at this point. But as far as next potential battlegrounds moving forward, the next level that you got to think a lot of people are watching right up there at 27.75. This was the high from right here and got pretty close to being the high from right here. Again, that does not mean that it can't break through it. I'm just saying it makes sense why the price did struggle at that area. But it does throw out a valid question. Is this maybe some sort of double top forming? Not saying it is, but I would understand your point of view if you threw that out there and had that consideration within your trade plan. If it's not and the price is getting ready to break up through there, the next key overarching level that I would say even more people would be watching right up there around the 28.35 mark. So keep an eye on those couple levels. If there is any sort of pullback, then the main level that stands out to me at least is that purple line there, 50-period moving average, which you can see right there has finally started to curl back upwards and has an upwards angle to it, which is always a good thing from a bullish standpoint, and current value of that is right there at 27. But yeah, anyway, look at it, especially from the technical point of view, got the trend line break. Let's see if this momentum carries into Friday. So that wraps up the top 10 list. Again, if you like what you saw here, then I want you to get signed up for the free live class. Like I said, it'll be next week, Thursday, April 20th. At 7 p.m. Eastern time, so I hope to see you there. As far as these videos are concerned, please do a couple things if you enjoy. Hit the like button, leave a comment. Tell me what you traded today. Did you make money? Did you lose money? Let me know down in the comment section. Those two things help out the channel. They help out these videos. And as long as I know that people are enjoying, I'll continue to put in the effort to get these top 10 videos out to you. So again, hit that like button, leave a comment below. Get signed up for that free training next week. Take care. Have a good one.